let's get to your Villa. Villa got a massive win against Manchester United. I'm sure it put a big smile on your face. In fact, I know it put a smile on your face. What a great goal it was from Bailey to open the score. And there it is. Two in his last three games.
Having to get the shirt out for Nigel Reo-Coker. Honestly, absolutely delighted, on cloud nine. I mean, everything that you'd want from an opening fixture under a new manager, we got it with Villa. It was
reaction.
I mean, where to start? I mean, it was just brilliant. Everything that had been lacking under Steven Gerrard, and also in the second of those two games under interim management of Aaron Danks as well. Yep. Villa had a plan, a way that they wanted to approach the match. Yes, they made a superb start, but the players, you could see the motivation and, just how positive they responded to being put into, Nigel, observed it in the chat, just very basic formations and shapes. Yet, when your players are responding to that kind of thing, it's pretty damning for Steven Gerrard, obviously, who Unai Emery has replaced, but also it suggests that there is a lot more potential in this squad than many people thought. And Unai Emery sees that and has identified a way to tap into it. Now, Villa aren't going to be performing like that week in, week out and beating teams of Man United's quality 3-1. We can also argue that United weren't at the races. Certainly some very poor aspects of their match today. But, to be able to get a match performance like that out of this Villa side that, they thumped Brentford recently 4-0, but then they went and got absolutely tonked by Newcastle as well. So to see them put in that kind of performance, fantastic. First time in 27 years, I think, that we've beaten Man United at home, even scoring direct free kick goals now. Really, really fantastic performance. Delighted for the boys. And, for once, it feels really good to be a Villa fan after a match. And there's not been that often that I've been saying that in the last few months.
I had to bring this statistic up for you because I was excited for this conversation. I knew you'd be passionate about the way that Villa played. And, I grew up a Manchester United fan, so this result kind of hurt me in many ways. And my father in particular was pretty pissed off with that United performance. But I just loved what Villa produced out there. This is the statistic that stood out to me. Jacob Ramsey is the fourth player in Premier League history with a goal, an assist, and an own goal in a single Premier League match right there. But I thought his final finish to wrap things up was the bow on a performance which was absolutely fantastic. They gave everything they had, and the finishing was very, very good today. And you could tell one thing in particular, the fans were all in on that game. It was pretty special to watch.
Yeah, it was, and I think the players will thrive on that energy moving forward. It really gives them something to build upon. Kind of a little concerned about what the sort of, backlash will be when Villa face United again on Thursday in the EFL Cup, because in my opinion, until we get higher up the table, I'd love to think that we can do something similar to Newcastle last season, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I still think that the domestic cups are probably the best route into Europe for Villa this season. And, I know people will be saying, oh, Villa, maybe they're getting ahead of themselves thinking about Europe, but that's been the goal now for the last 2 seasons. And I think Emery being brought in is definitely a reflection of the fact that that's where Villa have identified that they want to go, but they feel they're capable of going. So I think now, there certainly has to be a focus on those domestic cup games, and United being the only one before the World Cup break, that's going to be of huge importance. But the fans, that will buoy them. That will give Emery and the players something to work with, and the players will feel good after that kind of performance as well. I'm glad you singled out Ramsey. I'm a really, really big fan of his. It's always great to see what we can produce through the youth academy. So to see a player of his quality coming through, it really feels like it's only a matter of time before he's regularly playing for England at senior level, or at least I hope it's only a matter of time. But I think he got a bit unlucky as well with the own goal. And I kind of feel that even flattered United on the day, because as good as Villa were, and, for once we were very, very good and impressive, United were really, really disappointing. And I remember Mike Lahoud, before the game got underway, was kind of surprised to see that the lineup was pretty much the same one that played in Europe a couple of days before on the Thursday. So, perhaps that's an indication of the fact that Ten Hag, maybe has his, he has a bit of a kind of preference for certain players, and he's really, really trying to get something out of players that he's not necessarily going to be able to extract. And obviously within that point, I'm referring to this continued effort to try and get something out of Cristiano Ronaldo, which just quite clearly is not there with United. I mean, do you disagree?
No, I agree with you. And I also found it a little interesting to see Cristiano obviously getting into a bit of a scrap with Tyrone Mings as well. It made absolutely no sense. Ronaldo was the captain today in the lineup there. Some great comments coming in from Matt talking about Coutinho being left out of the squad, which was a big statement as well. Stevie G never got that type of performance out of those players. And I think all around, yeah, you're absolutely right. But at the end of the day, no matter what Manchester United do, and to the talking point of relying on players, I think coaches who come into a new team do that. When you get wins and you get good performances, you have a tendency to lean to the same 11 that you're getting results from, even though these players are being asked a lot of right now. So great win for Villa, great win for Unai Emery. What a great start for him, and nice to see that smile on your face. Let's have a look at the other fixtures that took place this weekend in the Premier League. West Ham went down by 2-1. Crystal Palace. Olise scoring a goal in the 94th minute of that game for Palace to pick up a massive 3 points. Erling Haaland on the score sheet, last minute winner for Manchester City against Fulham, obviously down by a man for a large period of that game. Everton going down by 2-1 against Leicester City. Top performance from Leicester. Really impressed with their performance. And Tielemans went an absolute banger into the top corner. Loved that goal. Jesse Marsch delight. 4-3 victory over Bournemouth. It was amazing to see this type of comeback from Jesse Marsch's side. Don't know how long you can keep doing that, though, in the Premier League. That is for sure. But this was a big win for Leeds United. Back-to-back victories. And Southampton go down by 4-1 to Newcastle. Hasenhüttl. The rumor is that he's been fired. I'm not sure, JJ, if you can confirm or not that he has been fired. Newcastle moving to third place. Newcastle have won the last 4 games, undefeated in the last 9. Almiron, 7 goals in his last 7, scored in 4 consecutive games.